Our goal in this, obviously we're not building the whole app from scratch, and I know people would have appreciated to have seen the whole thing from scratch. When Justin and I were talking about this, we're saying, well, if people already know how to code, then the hard part is figuring out how to make your app talk to Domo. And so we wanted to kind of step through the Sugarforce example because, as Justin was demonstrating, it shows you how to read from Domo. It shows you how to write to AppDV, and it shows you kind of some of the key steps that you have to do in order to connect your app to Domo. Guys, can I just say, like, I hit up Justin. I was like, Justin, I need someone to build custom app workshop for me. And he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And he says, and I asked him later, and I was like, so like, how many days did this take you? He's like, just a couple of hours. For those of you who don't read JavaScript, or those of you who are stepping into like this world of building custom apps, and I include myself in that category, I'm by no means an app dev expert. I think it was really cool to keep in mind, like, when I was chatting to Justin and I was like, hey, so how much of this D3 stuff, or how much of the actual like writing the race chart did you write yourself? And he's like, none of it. I found the boilerplate for building a race chart. I understood how I need to feed it the data so that it does what I need it to do. And so Justin spent a healthy amount of time talking about how to query the data from Domo and then just structure it the right way for the visualization. And that's not a Domo specific thing, right? That's just how do I shape my data the way the app needs it? So for those of you are thinking about getting into app development, it's definitely possible using this video, or really the Hello World app, or the Hello World tutorial as like the foundation. Like that's enough to get started. And then you can like start building I call them ugly apps because all of my apps are ugly, but you can start building ugly apps and put them into Domo. And really, like, wiring up for Domo is probably the easiest part of the conversation. At least that's what Cameron and team would have us believe.
Yeah, yes, I am. I'm back. I apologize.
No worries. No, just had a question come in from Nuno. Nuno was asking if it's possible to, from within an app, define another card. So like hit the card API and create a new card object.
So the question of is it possible is it possible? Yes, but you couldn't do that within the app itself. You could call a third-party endpoint that you have provided that does that for the Domo instance. But in like, probably what you're asking is, do you have that functionality available through the app itself? The answer is no, but you can go out to your own third-party endpoint and create that functionality.
So if I had an app where I like designed a card, could I send it to Domo Actions? Could I send the payload to Domo Actions and then Domo Actions creates the card?
That is possible. In general, they close off any Domo.com endpoints on a Domo action. And so, because think about what you would have. I mean, I'm not asking you to think about it. I'll tell you what you would need to think about. So, what would happen in that fashion is the Domo action is not authenticated to Domo. The Domo action is simply called by Domo, which means that you would have to then either hard code credentials into the Domo instance, or each individual that used the app would have to power the action with their credentials to Domo in order to get the SID token to publish a card.
So there's no way to use Domo Actions plus the accounts objects that exist in Domo to like verify who I am when if I send the request to the action, who I am because I'm using the app.
Yes. So I'll always know who you are because you're using the app, but I don't know. I don't think I know who you are when you use the action. And action works like a connector. No individual is running a connector. It's the connector that's running the connector, right?
But
So
can I have the action say, if you call this action, then use an account that's already got credentials, kind of like Domo governance, right? I can set up a Domo governance connector that's using Jay Wilson's account, right? And that data is stored in an account object.
yeah, so I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure on this one. We'll have to follow up with the person who did the presentation on connectors,
Yeah.
or on Domo actions and everything, just because my understanding is that so an action does work and have the same functionality as a connector, but a Domo action can only be called from a Domo app, and the action doesn't know who the user is. And I guess I see what you're saying. Like if you only credential a certain account to a user, but I think an app gets. So no, I'm actually pretty certain of this. Actually, I am certain of this. An app gets an action when the app gets powered. You don't power the app by individual person's actions. You power it with one action that has one set of credentials, the same way a connector works.
Okay. I think Nuno, is it possible? Theoretically, yes. Is it supported? Different question. And maybe we'll have to have a, like Cameron was just saying, we'll have to have a conversation with Lacey and the team who own.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's not a long conversation on if it's supported. If it's using a domo.com endpoint, it's not supported.
Okay. So then third-party app API it is.
Right. Yes. Yes. But then you would have to think about how you're going to authenticate the third-party endpoint to know which user you're talking about. Right. That's the only other thing.
Ooh, yeah, good point. Is that something that people do? Like, do we have?
So like if you use the same SSO system, it becomes really easy. Another thing that you can do is you can have your third-party endpoint authenticated by Domo rather than authenticating it with your own. Like, you know, some people will put up like a GCP cloud function. Or I won't say some people, I've put up a GCP cloud function that I then authenticated by Domo, so that when my app loads, it would show the pop-up screen for the OAuth 2 flow, but it just goes away because I've already authenticated because I'm already in Domo.
Interesting. You have a little
code. You got to be familiar with the OAuth 2 flow. So that is another thing that you can do within a Domo app. Or outside of Domo, you can use the OAuth 2 flow to create external Domo functions and external Domo automation by authenticating to Domo directly, and it'll give you back a token.
You got a little snippet you can share with us, or
I do, but I don't have it like on me right now. Because I'm on my phone.
Yeah, so no worries. No, but Nuno, that's on you.
That, yeah, so seriously, so that OAuth 2 flow works really nice because you don't even get like a login screen or anything. It pops you up into the Domo instance, and like and you can actually scope your credentials. So you could say, hey, I only want to use data sets. I only want to use projects and tasks. So you can actually scope your authentication requests.
That's wicked. Okay. All right, Nuno, it's on you. It looks like we have a path forward. You just got to send that follow-up email with Cameron. And then, of course, you have to share the code snippet with all of us, because now I'm curious. Morgan, you asked, when is the next conference? I'm shooting to do one in July. And I'm debating format. I want to do like these kind of like educational sessions in spring and fall. And then in summer and winter, I want to mix it up and maybe do something where we build something, or more of a focus on like building something and exchange ideas instead of like more of the passive learning that we were doing. But I'm open to ideas and suggestions. But yeah, that's the general gist of the plan right now. All right, guys. You have my email. We've got Slack. Don't be strangers. Please log into the dojo, log into Domo Dojo, and go play in the playground. Download the code samples. I hope you guys found this useful, and catch you guys later.